start raving reviews. And we review anything but the news. Cause we may be mad, but we're not crazy. We just think Hollywood's gotten lazy. Sup Ragerz?
I'm Stark.
I'm Raven. And happy Kitties and Clovers Day. So, couple of things. Obviously, we're getting all greened up, but first and foremost, so from our last video, we had some hilarious inquiries that followed up, but in all of that, we decided we're gonna go ahead and take our favorite question of the week,
or comment. Not always questions, you know.
Question or comment.
The best ones are questions.
And, you know, address it here for you, and let everybody else in on the hilarity that it was. For example, last week was the coin shortage, right? And so we got a comment from AML who said, and I quote, "I watched that whole video and I still don't know why we're in a coin shortage." Which I fell out. But the most hilarious reason is, neither do we.
You got to email the Mint. That's how you find out. I looked it up.
I mean, all I was trying to say is don't add to it, but fuck, we really have no clue. Call your people.
www.where'sthecoingoing.com.
That's not a real thing.
Mint.
It's not a real thing.
It's not. But it should be. Right.
Anyway, so that was the most hilarious comment we got. So, let's talk about just how horribly ill-informed we are on what the fuck St. Patty's Day is even about. On to the topic. Obviously, like we said, we're hitting the green this week.
St. Patrick's Day.
He-dee-dee-dee-dee.
Top of the morning to you and all that. His name's Patrick. Did you know that? Me father's name's Patrick.
I did fucking know that, fuck. Don't fucking start with me, you fuck.
I didn't even realise that my whole life. That's how much St. Patrick's Day means in fucking Ireland. Anyway.
Fuck. I'll tell you how much it fucking means here. It's actually a completely different thing.
We celebrate it here more than any place, including Ireland. They didn't even start celebrating St. Patrick's Day until the 20th century.
Mm-hmm.
And like with the festivals and dressing in green and doing all that. Partly because they didn't get their independence until 1922, but also because America was like, back in the day, they decided, hey, you've been oppressed by Britain and like us, so on the day that you became the country you are, we'll celebrate with you. So he declared the Continental Army a day to respite and celebrate, and it was in solidarity with Ireland for them gaining their independence from Britain as well.
Basically, we saw them being all oppressed, and we were all like, we've been there, here, for you.
Before that, Ireland took a day off Lent to get drunk with their families, go to church for a service, and eat and drink like they couldn't the rest of Lent, and celebrate the day that Christianity came to Ireland. In whatever way you want to say it, but St. Patrick did bring it, so.
Considering how you know, it all got there, let's face it, they deserved at least one day off.
It's even spoken in, like, Irish myth that St. Patrick used the 3-leaf shamrock, which only has 3 leaves, to describe the Holy Trinity to the pagan Irish people. And that was how, because in pagan religion, all the deities and most of their beliefs all happen in 3s. So, the luck of the 4th leaf on the shamrock, we don't know where that came from. But it's believed that he actually used the shamrock in that way to teach the Irish people about the Holy Trinity. That's just a myth, but it was a pagan myth, so you ask them.
I like it, actually, that basically he looked at it and said, you know how you have 3 gods? Well, so do we, and they work like this. And it translated over. It was new names for old gods, and that's basically what we've been doing for eons, isn't it?
Yeah, most of the belief systems and something bigger than us, that's how it kind of just plays out. It's funny.
New
but
names,
we're not
things.
here to talk about religion. We'll piss off the wrong sponsors. That's
clear.
pretty much why we get drunk here, dude. Most people don't even know why we wear green.
Actually, why we wear green is because it was considered the nationalist color of Ireland at the time. They didn't even, that wasn't a thing for them. But why we get drunk has nothing to do with all the casting out of the snakes, which is the worst fucking way they could put that. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with, hey, we understand your fucking pain. We've been under that fucking rule too. Good luck.
Half of the people that celebrate it don't know anything besides that it's a bunch of sordid history where a bunch of people died over Christianity in Ireland, and the Irish get drunk all the time, so celebration. But actually, there's a lot more history, and a lot of people got kind of bad raps about it. There was definitely some terrible deeds done, but that's not what's important. The Irish still celebrate it, and we're going to try to bring some light to the things that are good about it, and maybe help enlighten the things that aren't. But either way...
Also, we're hoping to, if nothing else, give you guys something else to celebrate if, like, this isn't for you.
Yeah. If you want to get drunk for a different reason, here's one. All right?
Like, straight up, happy get drunk with your kitties day.
Yeah. It's also the patron saint of cats day in Catholicism, as well as St. Patrick's Day.
Saint Gertrude of Nivelle.
Amazing, actually. She did a lot back in the like, I think it was the 400s or something like that. But
we'll get to her.
We'll get to her.
600s.
600s. I apologize. St. Patrick was the 400s.
So, let's talk about St. Paddy's Day. And let's talk about the misinformation. Now, Starch is going to take point on this, because being as his last name literally starts with an O apostrophe, he's the closest we got. But
I've got a little Irish in me blood. I don't have to be drunk to talk like this.
That's hot. I'm just saying, that's hot. Never mind. Anyway. St. Patrick, a.k.a. Maewyn Suxet Patricius.
Patricius was his baptismal name. So,
Maewyn, at all of the early age of 16, was kidnapped and sold into slavery. Boom. And where was he sold into slavery?
Ireland, where the rest of the slaves of the British were.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So at 22, he escaped it and somehow went over to Europe and studied at a couple monasteries, and lo and behold, he became a priest and a bishop almost overnight. And Pope
Celestine
declared him to evangelize England first and then Ireland, because at that time England was not part of the church like they wanted them to be.
Is evangelize just like the religious equivalent of colonize? Because that's what that sounds like.
It is.
Okay,
it is.
okay. I wanted to...
Catholic version. Not all religions do that.
You're right, you're right. There's certainly not, a whole bunch of Jewish people in Korea saying, here, read the Torah.
So, he somehow went right past England, or either that or they just gave up like, they do. And went straight to Ireland. And it took him 33 years, they say, to convert completely all of Ireland into Christianity.
Now, that could all be summed up basically as this poor kid who got kidnapped and sold into slavery comes back 20 years later for a 30-year revenge. And hell, I guess he definitely got it, but it actually...
And he was kind of put as the fall guy by the Pope and
typical.
His student... As he was a bishop, he was allowed to take on a student, and the mission that they ran that caused the genocide of many of the native people of Ireland was not all by St. Patrick. He was just the one who was deemed the leader because he was the highest rank, and he was from there. So, if anything, he could just be the one who was either praised or hated. But because it caused what it did in Ireland, he was praised.
Actually, there's been a lot of interesting things to happen on March 17th, hasn't
You'd
there?
think, huh? You look at any day in history and you see how much stuff happens on every other day. You'd think it'd be a little bit more than he came in, he killed off all the snakes, and then they all were Christian, and everybody lived happily ever after. Fun fact, did you know this? That the relief group for the Church of Latter-day Saints was made and formed on March 17th
Fun fact.
in 1860 something. So the Latter-day Saints, they started pushing that Jesus too. The same day. It's crazy. Nothing against Jesus, but
Saint Gertrude of Nivelle, patron saint of animals, the insane, the sickly,
Travelers.
the travelers, the lost souls.
look
Just
her up, man.
a
Gertrude
badass
of
bitch.
Nivelles, man. She's from Belgium. She was amazing, actually. She did a lot. That also on this day, in 1950, Berkeley researchers were able to create the 98th element, which they called californium.
Yes.
That's kind of exciting.
A little bit scary.
It is.
And once upon a time, if you recognize the name, Marcus Aurelius.
Marcus Aurelius. That's the guy he kills in the beginning of the movie to become the emperor. That happened on St. Patrick's Day, long before St. Patrick even thought about snakes.
Now, let's see, also on March 17th, Napoleon took Italy and declared it the Kingdom of Italy under his rule.
Yes, benevolent rule.
Let's just say he boned it apart.
Yeah, and then it was great. In 1861, Italy proclaimed itself just the Kingdom of Italy, without the Bonaparte,
The boned apart.
the Bonaparte monarch. So that was good.
St. Patrick, to be clear, that happened in 387 AD.
No, he was born in 387.
And he was born then. All of that took place and didn't end until what, 430?
410 and 435 BC is actually when it took place.
So
They believe.
in that lifespan, he went from being 16 years old, a slave, 22 years old, escaped and on the run, and at a monastery, suddenly a bishop, and then by 35,
What?
33 or 35, he was already being appointed bishop and being told by the church to
Evangelize England, which Ireland was a part of at that time. So
that's quite a fast movement.
it is. It's pretty incredible. But like I said, I think they kind of gave him that position and moved him that fast up the ranks so that they could get to evangelizing and have somebody to either sanctify or crucify. And he was lucky enough to end up on that first. So
It's possible they didn't have anyone else that understood Gaelic.
exactly.
So they needed someone that could speak to the snakes.
Exactly. So there's lots of reasons.
It's still fucked up.
Yeah, it's still fucked up. It's a fucked up history. Ireland's got a lot of dirt on its history, and but we're still a good, fun-loving, God-fearing people, and everybody's got a little bit of Irish in them.
So, before we get into the resolution of what we were building to and all this, let's just take a quick moment aside, pop in. You should go and like, subscribe, follow, etc., etc. All the pages. They're right there in the description below. Or to the side.
And we'd like to give a big shout out and thank you to our first contributor. No, personally, it does not have much to give. So what they did give meant so much, and the fact that it was given out of just nurturing and the care that we have as friends is really, really special. So
So, shout out to Ashley H for being just awesome and passing the goodwill about.
we really appreciate it, and that's even little gestures like that makes it all the worthwhile, and we try to do it in return. So thank you. That means so much. That's what we try to preach, and we try to teach, and we try to give it to people, and you did it for us, and that's so nice. So to Ashley and her husband Mike,
To Ashley and Mike, thank you.
we love you guys. That means so much.
So
That's
much.
what
Our first patrons.
Yep. So,
Anyway,
back to the Irish subject.
so, as a resolution. Now, Gaelic genocide aside, and fucked as all of that is, who we're blaming is not accurate, and how we're celebrating, while being accurate, is not in the right name of accuracy.
Absolutely not.
Remember that we did this out of solidarity, because we saw someone else who was going through that same pain we just managed to get through, so, or we're still going through at the time, 1780. So
And now in the 21st century, through the 22nd, I'm sure we will hold our independence, and it was really cool that we kind of came together in that moment, but we're not in those moments anymore, and the world has changed, so we all got to find our place in it. But it's good to know where you come from, and it's not just a holiday to get together and act like a bunch of idiots and dress like the grass. It was, you know, it was the hype. And that was really kind of an Americanized version of it, but I'd like to see how it goes down in Ireland. I think that'd be pretty cool, but either way, try to take a little from both and keep it in heart, and remember, people died for this, people survived for this, and it's all in good fun. Everybody's Irish today, so.
And if, you know, you can't find some way to, like, feel or celebrate for that, there's, like, a billion other things on March 17th. My favorite being, of course, Gertrude of Novellis, patron saint of kitties. So, grab your kitty, take a drink, and enjoy yourself. And just remember that, if nothing else, it's a day to understand solidarity, even with your cats.
And remember all the big things that are happening in the world with the transfers of power and all the crazy things that can happen. You know, at the end of the day, who do you have to have a good drink with and keep yourselves warm with? And that's what it's all about.
So, happy Green Cat Lovers Day.
Top of the evening to you. It's been good chatting, and we hope to hear more from all of you in your comments and questions, and please feel free to educate us any more on this subject. We always love fun facts and to be straightened out in any information we give. So
if we are ill-informed, please teach us something. And also, if you guys like this, I hope you did. We totally want to do more holiday Here's Whys, because, like, this was really fun to find out all this. So let us know if you like this. Let us know if you have any other, you know, comments, questions, etc. So, you know, until next time, grab something green, cuddle a cat, and enjoy the day, if nothing else.
that's right.
Go to
Erin go bra.
Erin go bra.
Erin go bra. So, you know, the old Gaelic.
Gibra. It's a very, like, oddly guttural language. Anyways, so he's Stark, I'm Raven, and we're informed, so you don't have to be.
Peace be with you and all your spirits.
And all your kitties. Thanks for watching Stark Raven Reviews. We love us or hate us, we're glad to review. Weekly videos just for you. If you have a suggestion, well, what I do. If you're mad and you feel the vibe, hit us up on Patreon like you die.
Happy birthday, Elmo.